Hello and welcome, my dear modelers, to my small hobby YouTube channel. My name is Toma and this is another inbox review video. Well, howdy doody. Well, today we're going to be taking a look at Americans. We're going to be opening this bad boy. Yeah, let's take a look inside the box. Welcome back. If you have just joined me, my name is Tomo and this is an inbox review of the Cougar 6x6 from MENG in 1/35 scale. This is a Stegosaurus series of MENG models, which implies that this is a highly detailed, very complex model, which means that it has lots and lots of parts, and they're not kidding. This is a full interior car, well, vehicle, not car. And from what I've seen so far, it's truly mind-blowing. I mean, the detail is phenomenal. Just like on the previous two models that we've seen so far, which you can totally check out if you could just scroll to the channel real quick, you'll see that this is something special. This beast of a model contains 26 sprues that contain all the necessary parts to make up the model. It includes photo edge, rubber tires, some rubber parts as well, the main body, and of course the all-important decals. There's just one small critique from my perspective when handling and opening the boxes and that's true for all the MENG models that we've seen so far, the boxes are a little bit tight. So everything inside is packed real tight, and when you're handling and opening and reviewing stuff, things are about to fly off into the unknown if you're not careful. And I did, for a slight moment, had a brief panic attack when I lost one part, a machine gun that was just kind of floating there. Yeah, but I found it, so we're good. Again, I'll give you a brief overview of the parts themselves so you'll have a better understanding of what you can expect if you're willing to buy it and assemble it yourself. Like you see, the detail is there. I mean, I keep going on about the detail, but it truly is amazing how much Chinese and Japanese companies give effort into making the model as realistic as possible by making sharp and precise corners on hatches and attachments so that they are not rounded and make the model feel like a toy. Because as scale model builders, we do try to mimic reality, and if we have a helping hand with the manufacturing process, then that's all the better for us. Like you see, there is super fine detail, super fine detail. All the panels just feel like they're bolted on and not just haphazardly placed there. It really makes me wonder how many teams of people are involved in making such a model come to life. How many researchers and engineers have to come together to actually produce something like this. And then someone like me comes along and says, attachment points are too thick, and the gaps are too big, or this and that. But in reality, we have to kind of think about the actual manufacturing processes and technologies that we have to thank for the level of detail that this is bringing to the table. Because just not so long ago, like 10 or 15 years ago, this would be probably unthinkable. So really, kudos to them. So from now on, I'll be a little bit more forgiving, at least for the models that I think have lots of potential for building and displaying. Due to the amount of parts involved in the build process, I don't really think that this is an appropriate model for a beginner, because even though it's really cool and all, I think that it would be an overwhelming experience for the first time, and especially because you're gonna try to make it as real as possible in muddy. By the way, this is the piece that I almost lost. Muddy, it's still, I think, too much, so I would recommend you go for something easier. Like I mentioned, you get some rubber parts with this one. These are basically just straps that do need a little bit more of a cleanup on the edges, and of course clear parts, which I think they're phenomenal. They're super clear, they're like crystal clear. You get 3 sprues of these and one of them is tinted. You get some rudimentary photo edge parts here, just basically the engine covers, meshes mostly, and of course the decal sheet of paper, which, just like on the previous two models, is a little bit smudged, don't you think? I mean, for a model that costs this much money, you would expect the decals to be a little bit more crisp, a little bit more sharp. In certain situations they look a little bit offset. So the manual is big. It's more of a booklet of a manual that gives you all the steps to, well, create the model. It's quite extensive. It has 28 pages. They're not colored, they're black and white as you can see. And the steps feel maybe a tad little bit too condensed, like they're kind of rushing you through the whole process. You really need to pay attention to what you're doing, especially where you're fitting photo etch parts and certain decals, because you can easily forget something. Like you see on the edge, it kind of eases out a little bit, making sure, you know, to follow all the steps and read the whole thing before assembling the whole model. That way you'll make it much easier on yourself. You also get a pamphlet which shows you how to paint the model, and yeah, that's basically it. Well, that's it, another model done. Thanks for watching if you haven't. Thank you for liking, caring, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye bye.